at McM, and this can be used anywhere, not just McM. I teach beginners bass because we have a couple of basses available to us at the school, and because I play bass, and because tuba is kind of a hard instrument to start, and it's also hard to have a full sounding ensemble without that low end. So I like to teach the bass, and so this is the bass version of our warm-up. It is scale, our first 5 notes of the scale, B flat, C, D, E flat, and F. We do it in whole notes first, we do it in half notes, in quarter notes, and then 2 per tone. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things before I start, just some technique reminders. First off, when you're playing, you want to have the bass set at a level that allows you to, reach across all of the strings. I like to teach, at least for beginners, and I forget sometimes myself, but for my beginners, I always try to make sure that they're starting with their thumb on one of their pickups. If they have 2 pickups like I do on mine, then maybe the lower one would be good, and you can reach across. We're mostly just using these 2 middle strings, and we start out we're using what they call half position, I think, if I remember correctly. Because I have larger hands, and if I have a student with larger hands, I would teach this, but not all of my students have that. So larger hands, I would say, try to, with the first fret here, you're going to want to use your first finger, second fret, anytime you use that, second finger, third fret, fourth fret, etc. With students that have smaller hands, I let them do, first fret with the first finger, and then since this scale only uses the first, really, and the third fret and open strings, I have them do, first fret, and then they can use kind of their pinky and their third finger for that third fret, just so that they can get that note to come down. Because if you don't get it all the way down, you get some fret noise sometimes, some buzz, or maybe a dead sounding note if it's not down, even touching the fret. The other thing to remind you is to make sure that you're getting your finger as close to the fret as possible without being, you don't want to be right on top of it necessarily, but sort of right, I call it under it. Sometimes depending on how you look at the bass, I call it under, because to me these are lower notes and these are higher notes. So if you're playing higher notes and this is up on the fretboard for me, some people call this down on the fretboard, or whatever you call it, just use the visual aid, I guess. But I consider this to be slightly under that fret, so you're a little bit less than that. If you get too far to this side, you could tend to get some fret noise, especially if you're plucking really hard over here. And then once again, I use my fingers to pluck. You can use a pick, of course. I don't use a pick. I'm not a guitar player really, but you're welcome to do that. Just make sure that however you're striking the string, that it's in a smooth way, and it's as consistent as possible, no matter which string you're actually playing. I'm going to try to keep both hands in position of the camera so that it makes sense. There will be 2 measures of click to start this out, and I'll give like a count off in the second measure, and then in between each version of the scale we will have 1 measure. So here we go. Get ready, here we go. And 1, 2, ready, play. Okay, practice a lot. Practice makes permanent, so do it a lot and do it the right way. Okay, good luck. Bye.